Everyone, just got a text this morning that a tree has come down at the woods, so just come down here to check it out. Right, so luckily it's not huge, but it is definitely a blockage. Completely blocked the road off, and what is it? Looks like a beech or an oak or something. And it's pulled the wire down too. So, right, this is something that the council are obviously going to have to help with, but it's not looking great for us. Yeah, that looks like a beech and one of the oaks as well, which is what I was afraid of. I'll go around in there if I can just climb up through here and get a closer look. Okay, so looking at it from the road, unfortunately it looks like two trees have come down. Looks like a big oak and maybe a beech tree or something. This is the last thing I wanted to happen. So the police have blocked the road off, so presumably obviously the council know about it, and they'll be coming out. Oh, that's not good. Jesus. Oh man, that is not good. It's not good at all. Okay, so we're just waiting on confirmation whether the telephone company or the local council are on their way down to deal with it. Obviously we're here to do our part as well. The tree has fallen from our land, so it is partly our responsibility, but usually when a tree falls across the road it becomes the responsibility of the local council, who obviously maintain the road. But while I'm here I'm just having a look around to see if what other damage is happening. Of course, like I said, naturally falling trees, you know, it's a natural thing to happen in a woodland. However, when a woodland is like this, where we have large clearings like this in the middle, like this here, then in fact the damage can be worse because of, you know, more exposure. There's just these large channels for the wind to just blow through without much buffer from the trees, and then obviously that can sweep up through places like this. Would the damage have been mitigated a bit if the woodland were in a better ecological state? Perhaps, possibly. And obviously this is just part of the reality of you know, land ownership and the being in the position we're in now of looking after this land. This is just, perhaps we could prevent things like this from happening in the future by, again, planting more trees, creating more buffer from windstorms like this in the winter. In our main spot though I can't see any damage, so I think the tree, or the two or three trees that fell down, I can't quite tell, seems to just be an isolated case. Just typical that it is across the public road that runs along the outside of our woodland. I'm grateful to see that these oaks are still doing okay. That would be a real devastation for you know, an ancient tree like that to fall. Yeah. I've got to be careful with how much I do because I don't want the tree to move. Someone's come at the path now. Tree service is here. Hey guys, how's it going? Good. Could be better.
Yeah.
So, what's the deal then? Do you need us to go to help you, or
What are you?
landowner?
You're not right. Yeah.
So,
I think it's best if we just.
yeah. That's to knock the branch
Yeah.
off for now. I didn't want to do too much sort of moving this thing. You guys will be able to wind up there. There's
Barbed wire.
wire on the ground as well.
Yeah. It's been a busy weekend already. There were four trucks out last night.
Really?
All through the night. It's been a bad.
We've got some big Douglas firs in here that I was expecting to come down. They're absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I'll go grab a cutter as well and cut this barbed wire for you guys.
Yeah.
Put in the way. Yeah, if there's anything you need, just let me know.
Cheers, mate.
No worries, guys.
Probably turn around.
Alright, so fortunately the tree surgeons have just arrived, tree service. Gonna obviously do the main bits. Our chainsaw typically needs a new chain at the moment, so if only we'd done that last week, then we'd have been able to help a bit more. But for now I'm just going to sort of clear the area for them, see if they need a hand with anything. Otherwise the best we can do for now is just let them get on there, the professionals. My camera is low on battery. I will try to film what I can, and then we'll just see how it goes.
Hi. You, Brandon?
It is indeed.
Yeah, hi.
Nice to
Yes,
meet you.
yes.
Nice to see you again. How are you doing?
All right, thanks.
It's you're alright, it's a big one.
Yeah, yes.
Also from
They expected.
Oh, yeah, I'm not doing this one.
Right.
Yeah, my mum's on the road if you want to.
Oh, yeah, I think
If you did want to cut this off. Yeah, the gates up there. Okay, the tree guys are on it. I was just clearing some laurel for them, but they said at the moment it's best I just sort of get out of the way a little bit and they'll handle it. And we're trying to figure out what tree it was that's come down. At first I thought it might have been a hornbeam, but I've just walked over here and next to this humongous horse chestnut here. But looking at the bark on this, it does seem to look a lot like the one that's fallen over there. Now, my neighbour pointed out something interesting, that it does look like the roots have rotted a little bit, so perhaps that is the reason why it fell over so easily in this wind. And also I noticed that the branches up the top end of the tree in the crown were all quite thin, scarce. So I don't see any tree fall obviously, but at least it wasn't, you know, one of our great oaks, or, you know, thank God it wasn't one of the humongous Douglas firs. We have got Douglas fir right next to my camp through there that is leaning towards the road. So when we got the call from our neighbour that a tree had fallen across the road, he said it was quite a big one. I was fearing the worst, but it's not quite as bad as that. The tree service now are just waiting on someone to come out and help them fix their chipper because the chipper's not working. So we've got a whole team going on out here now. Sounds like they've just started up again, so that's good news. Now, as I was saying, wind-felled trees are a natural occurrence in a natural and healthy woodland ecosystem. When a tree falls, of course, that creates light for younger trees to start to grow and flourish. However, there is a road that carves through our land, basically, and the road goes down about 10 feet in a gully and comes back up. So in that situation, the tree is a lot weaker, the roots don't have as strong a hold. Of course, that increases the likelihood of trees falling over, even when they're a healthy tree. It is typical, it's a shame, but I think that's why the only trees that have fallen are the ones across the road, because that's where the weak point is. Okay, so it's just gone 2 p.m. and the tree servicemen are having some problems with their wood chipper, so they've just sent off back to their office to bring another one out. So just going to check with them whether it's okay to head off, because you know, for their insurance and health and safety and whatnot, we can't be in the way. But I doubt it's going to be a quick job. The tree's bigger than they were expecting, and much bigger than I was expecting too, but at least it wasn't one of the massive ones. They said they'll put the wood back on our land so we can sort that out another day. But as for the actual cutting, we're not really allowed to go near the tree because it's over the road. That's now obviously the council's job, and although it's a tree from our land, you know, if we go near it, that's their responsibility. So hopefully I'll make it down tomorrow. I am at work though, so I'll just have to see what sort of time I've got available. I was talking to our neighbour, but we're a little bit concerned about any legal or financial repercussions for it, because it's our tree from our land, it's fallen across a public road. Usually it will only really be a problem when it's a tree that's been neglected. In this case, however, it's a tree that has blown over in the wind. So if it was a branch that fell off, then perhaps that would fall back on us. But because it's collapsed from the base, that's sort of counts as an act of nature, I guess. You know, it's unforeseeable. So roadblock's still up for now, but yeah, we're just gonna see how it's going. Okay, so we're back at the woods a couple of days later, just to see how the mess was cleared up and to see what they've done. Another windy day, so there was an apple tree came down near the driveway, but let's get up here and see what's going on.
Same with the other one over here.
That's the second one.
Yeah.
Oh, half a log. Yeah, that beech tree that snapped from the base as well. Because initially when they said that 3 had come down, I thought this big one had come down, and they were tangled up in the branches, and it just pulled the other two down.
Yeah.
It might have done with that one, because that's uprooted.
Yeah.
Those two were converging and that pulled that down. But that beech tree has snapped up.
That's got separate, yeah. Can't wait.
Now, I want to be clear. Wind-felled trees are a completely natural and expected occurrence in a forest ecosystem. It's just part of the natural life cycle of the trees. So I don't want to turn this into something that it's not. However, I do worry that we may be seeing more occurrences like this in the future. Due to climate change, winter storms are becoming more frequent and more severe. So although this is a natural event, I do fear for the future of this woodland and our natural environment as a whole. I think it's important to remember that ecological decline and climate change are inextricably related. Now, soil erosion plays a massive part there, because as I said, that road creates a gully where the trees have less of a stronghold in the soil there. As for what we can do here, well, as I said, planting more trees and shrubs will slow the wind down as it passes through the landscape. And it will also reinforce the soil in those areas that have been weakened for one reason or another. Planting a mix of short trees along this bank will also create a hedgerow and provide habitat to a number of different species, as well as having the added benefit of giving us more privacy from the road and creating a natural boundary for the land without the need for these barbed wire fences here. And that will also stop, hopefully, deer and other wildlife from running out into the road and potentially causing problems like that in the future. But in the meantime, if you want to help us restore these areas of woodland, then please subscribe to the Wellstead and hit like on our videos. And if you really want to support our work directly, then you can head down to the link in the description below to donate to our fundraiser to help bring this woodland back to life. Every single penny raised will be used to help plant trees and restore this ancient woodland. For now though, as I said, it's an unfortunate event for this to happen. It is a natural occurrence, but I think there are ways to prevent further damage like this from happening in the future, because it not only puts a risk to the public using the road there, but every tree that falls over in the wind creates a less resilient canopy and therefore threatens the survival of all the species in this woodland ecosystem. And as I said, if you want to be part of that journey, then please consider hitting subscribe to the Wellstead, and I will see you guys in the next video, hopefully less of a stressful one, at the Wellstead.